Good morning. It is 6:38 a.m. on Friday, September 20th, 2019. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I'm once again doing my dual recording setup because Facebook Live can no longer be trusted. I'm still not sure what's causing the artifacting. I've tried doing some internet speed testing just to try to see if there's some issue with my upload speed. Doesn't seem to be. So, not sure. I suppose if it's uneven, that could be hard to tell with a speed test, but I don't know. That's a noise that is intended to non-verbally indicate that, I don't know. Anyway, last night I found myself, I had stuff to do, but I was kind of in a mood where I felt like I needed to give myself a break. And so part of what I did while I took a long time doing a couple of things, longer than probably it would have taken otherwise. One thing I had to do is I had another technical issue on the most recent So Many Levels where for the first 45 minutes my own audio was using the wrong microphone, and so that was the whole thing. So it took a little longer to get the audio podcast version in a semi-presentable state. It's a real shame that it was had to mar that particular episode too, because there was some crazy player shenanigans going on. But what I also did last night, because I was just kind of feeling it, is I decided to rewatch the movie 1408, which is based on a Stephen King short story, and it is starring John Cusack as he just checks into an evil haunted hotel room. And it's a pretty straightforward story in that regard, in that most of the screen time is taken up just by spooky stuff happening and him trying to deal with it. But John Cusack is a good actor and he really sells it. And there's enough inventiveness in all of the different things that happen in the hotel room that it's pretty, everything is, it definitely keeps you interested. Because I was thinking I might put it on and then let it just be in the background if it wasn't really holding my attention, but it definitely did, even though I had seen it before. It also, starts at times digging into, his own personal psychology. And, one thing that I knew was that it had two different endings. There was the ending that was in the theater, but then when it was released digitally and on video, I think that it was possible to get the theatrical version, but mostly what was made available was a slight director's cut version with a different ending. And I thought that was that was interesting. And I have mixed feelings about the different ending, because on the one hand, basically I think I like some things about the new ending more and some things about the old ending more. But then when I was looking it up, I found that there's actually 4 different endings, but only 2 of those are sort of really meaningful because, they filmed 4, but only 2 of them ever actually got released in any way. Anyway, though, one of the things that just struck me as fun about that movie is that, like I said, a whole bunch of it is really just creepy stuff happening in this hotel room in a brilliantly paced way. And part of what I find inspiring about watching that is just, as someone who is an occasional storyteller, and I don't say that with false modesty, oh yes, well, I'm pretentious and I'm making false, it's like an occasional story. Okay, now I'm getting stupid about that. So the point is that I sometimes do things like DM Dungeons and Dragons or write stories and that sort of thing. And so taking a lesson about what works and what doesn't in that kind of a setup because a lot of those elements are sort of just unsettling enough, and the timing of it is so critical. Horror, like comedy, is so timing dependent. Excuse me. And because just the pacing of hear a sound, go to check the window, there's nothing, window slams down on his hand. Like the timing of that is so important to make the actual emotion work. I find it interesting. So I think that movie is a great case study for that sort of thing. But I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it there for today. And I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.